All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we're going to be checking out the first week of results from OP-07. They're in. You know, they just got OP-07 last week. And now we finally got some results in over at OnePieceTopDecks.com. Make sure to check them out if you have not already. And if you guys know of another website that posts other results or like more results, I'll definitely check that out as well. I love seeing the new decks that come out and, you know, seeing what's going on. So just to give you guys a heads up, give you all a warning that there's going to be like some spoiler style stuff going on in this video because we're checking out brand new decks that are coming out in OP-07. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into this. You know, don't want to beat around the bush too much here. We're just going to dive straight into it. And I'm going to start at 20, right here where this Bonnie is. Basically, they got their cards around February 24th. That's when all the new results are in, starting right here and going up. And guys, take a quick little glance. Excuse me, I can't even talk. Take a quick little glance over at the left at the different kind of decks. Look at all this variety, guys. So many different leaders. I mean, yeah, we see some of the old school or some of the familiar faces like in Anel. We see the Yamato. We see the Sakazuki. We see Reiju popping back up. Red Purple Law, that's been a lot of people been talking about Red Purple Law. We're going to be talking about that today. Blue Green Sanji making an appearance, Boa Hancock, and Jewelry Bonnie, the new leader, and just all kinds of stuff. Purple Yellow Showtime Croc, just really, really cool decks popping up out of nowhere. By the way, this one, it looks like it's Purple Yellow. It's supposed to be Blurple Reiju. I already checked. I was wondering what was going on there. Just a simple mistake with the colors. All right, guys, let's just go ahead and dive into this. Like I said, starting down here. We looked overall at what kind of variation there is. I do want to preface this video with saying there haven't been any major, like huge, like 500 plus player tournaments yet with OP-07 because it just came out a week ago at the time when we were recording this video over in the East. But there have been some pretty large tournaments. Like look at this, 128 player tournament. Red Purple Luffy first place out of about 130 player tournament. Okay, over up top here, Sakazuki got first place at this one at 130 player tournament. But look at the difference, like second place, the new OP-07 Luchi. Third and fourth place, Red Purple Law and Yellow Anel. Like that's pretty nice, guys. That's a pretty good, like what everything is in there except green. Let me see, blue, black, yellow, red, purple. Yeah, literally just a green deck did not show up in this top four. Like when you look at the color breakdown. But we see Yamato still doing her thing. We see Sanji popping up here and there, and the new Bonnie. You know, I think we're... Y'all tell me what y'all think down in the comment section below. I'll probably have a bunch of random questions throughout this video because I want to hear what y'all say about these decks. I want to hear what y'all think about these. What do y'all think about the way this format's looking? Because one thing a lot of people have been talking about lately after Worlds is, you know, we got to talk about the ban list and we got to talk about restrictions. And man, I mean, I see what's going on here. This list has so much variety. This might be the healthiest looking card game I've ever seen. And y'all tell me if y'all seen a healthier one, just out of curiosity, you know, not to like, you know, this isn't like a, you know, a competition, so to speak, on which game was the healthiest of all time. But like, be realistic with me. How many times have you seen this much variance, you know, in a card game where you have every single color being used when there's 6 different colors and all these differences, like, you know, colors being comboed and whatnot, and all these different results. What do y'all think about OP-07's initial results? You know, again, we haven't seen any major tournaments. I'm not trying to, you know, skip anything here or overlook any possibilities. But it looks like we're about to head into a very, very healthy format. And again, y'all tell me what y'all think down in the comment section below if you think I'm crazy or not. Okay, so now jumping into some of these here. Let's look at the list for Bonnie that got second place here at a 130 player tournament. We're just going to glance over these real quick. If you guys want to know like the full list and like try the deck out for yourself, like print out proxies at home or whatnot, you know, just go to OnePieceTopDecks.com and just copy the list there. But this Jewelry Bonnie deck, it's running, of course, it's running the Supernova package, but it's also running this the Don Quixote Pirates package as well. So it's got, you know, obviously, if you have a leader effect with a built-in, a baked-in, you know, rest mechanic, why would you not run Doflamingo? And it's running 4 Jewelry Bonnies to keep characters locked down in the early game. It has ways to cheat out Jewelry Bonnies while developing your board. It has ways to unrest or set Dawn as active at the end of your turn in these new blocker cards. Tons of protection with like Rosinante here. Tons of blockers in Basil Hawkins and this new Erogi card with the Don Quixote Rosinante card. And yeah, lots and lots of card draw with Baby 5 and Jewelry Bonnie. Looks like it's got plenty of 2K counters. Let me look through those real quick. Put my glasses on for this. Yeah, it's got 4, 8, and actually it looks like it only has like 9 2K counters, unless I'm missing some. 4 here, 5, plus 4 is 9. Yeah, it looks like it's got 9 2K counters. So not a lot, but it does have 2 of the 0 cost 3K, trash a card 3K. So about 11. You know, it's like it turns into 11 2K counters with that effect. But yeah, excuse me, it's got some good stuff, and the deck looks very promising. I'm surprised it's only running 1 Eustace Captain Kidd, like, and not 2, because if you do a a Baby 5 search and go over your single, your 1 Eustace Kidd, well, there goes that, right? There goes that, and that's a very powerful card. Obviously, Eustace Captain Kidd is absolutely very, very powerful card. But I will say, there is a lot more removal in the game now, so I guess this card's not as strong as it used to be. Maybe that's the logic there. You guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. So Bonnie, looking very promising. Let's check out Anel. Let's look for the highest placing Anel list and check that out. We got to get that one out of the way. Okay, we'll actually look at this whole entire tournament. We're going to look at this whole tournament. First up is Sakazuki, then we'll go down from there to Luchi, Anel, and then Red Purple Law. Sakazuki, looking the exact same from OP-06. And actually, it actually changed. This list is not even running the 1-cost searcher, the 1-cost Tashigi blue searcher. Well, it's a blue 1-cost navy searcher Tashigi. But it looks like they're just running straight up 4 of these Hina draw a card if you have 5 or less in hand characters instead. That's what it seems like to me. And of course, you have to keep brand new because it fills up your trash. Even though it's only a top 3 search, it helps fill up your trash for your shenanigans with Rob Luchi. And of course with Gecko Moria, so why wouldn't you? It's running 1 of the Amano Murakuma swords. It's running the 4 Hound Blazes, 4 Great Eruptions, 2 Ice Age. That's all pretty standard. In fact, some lists were running 2 of the Amano Murakuma swords. It's running 2 Borsalinos, 4 Geckos, 3 Rebecca, down to 3 Rebecca. You know, that's another thing I did notice. Some lists that were running Blue Black Sakazuki and OP-06 were actually not running Rebecca, and instead they were running the Tashigi, the blue 1-cost Tashigi Navy Searcher. But yeah, I guess it all depends on what you're trying to do. Yeah, there's probably no right or wrong way to do it. It just depends on what you're better at. You know, whatever better suits your style at this point, because the framework is kind of already laid out. Now, the newest card in this entire list is actually T-Bone from EV01. That is the actual newest card in this list, and this is just an incredible 5-cost, 5K, 2K counter with an on-play KO up to 1 of your opponent's characters that costs 2 or less. In a deck like this, it hits a 3 or less, period, right? Just because of your leader's attack, you can hit a 3 or less at any time with like no investment whatsoever. But you can combo that with a Helmeppo to hit a 5 or less, you know, Great Eruption to hit a 4 or less, or Ice Age to hit a 7 or less. That's just incredible, while establishing a 5K body, and it's Navy searchable, like we were saying, or you know, I don't know if I said it or not, but that's, you know, obviously that's what we're talking about. Running a single Sabo, that makes sense, you know, for certain matchups, and yeah, everything else looks pretty standard. Okay, so moving on from there, let's move on to the next one. Let's look at the Luchi deck. I expect this to be like Luchi Navy. Yeah, and it is. It's like Luchi, or excuse me, it's CP. You guys know what I meant when I said Luchi. It's got CP stuff in Khalifa, Kaku, Luchi, Spandam, and Spandine, Hattori, and some events down here. We'll talk about this event in a second. I don't know what this is supposed. This is probably supposed to be the 6-cost 7K Rusher Luchi, but I have no idea because this is obviously not playable in mono black Rob Luchi. But it's got a few cards from Navy. It's got like your Surus. It's got Helmeppos, 2 Borsellino, 2 Kuzan. That's interesting. It's running the Rebeccas. It's running the Gecko Moria stuff to get recursion. It's running the new Sabo. This new Sabo card looks absolutely, you know, incredible. A cost 9K body is already just very, very good. 9K is like a very nice number. And you're going to be able to trash a card to KO 2 of their cards with this. Just awesome. And remember, this leader, the new leader for Rob Luchi, can -1 to the cost while filling up the trash. Speaking of filling up the trash, CP now has an incredible card in Tempest Kick, or whatever this is. It looks like they just put the name. I think it's probably called Tempest Kick or something close to that. This is a 1-cost main, draw 1 card. Then if you have 10 or more cards in your trash, -3 cost for the turn. So in other words, early in the game, this is still a 1-cost draw 1, just a straight cycle card for 1. But later in the game, or like mid to late game in Luchi, when you have 10 cards in your trash, this is a souped up version of Great Eruption. Y'all see that, right? It's a 1 cost -3, whereas this is a 1 cost -2, and they both draw a card. And the trigger's even better. Like, you know, Great Eruption makes them trash a card. Tempest Kick, KO's a 3 or less. Seems good. We all know what Eridor does. This is gonna be extremely important for filling up your trash to interact with your Gecko Moria, with your Rebecca, and your Luchi. And I think Spandine as well. Yeah, this one returns 3 cards with CP and its types from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order, and then play up to 1 cost 4 or lower character card with CP and its types other than Spandine from your trash rested. This is an excuse me. This is an EB01 card, guys. So it's going to be able to grab back your Luchis. Okay, very, very strong. And it does have to be a CP type, so you can't grab back these Navy cards up here, but you can grab back a Khalifa, which is nice, because this is a draw 2, trash 2, right? Even if you don't use the, and it's -2 cost when it comes into play. You know, it can -2 to the cost of something. Yeah, just solid. This deck looks really good. I think this leader looks very promising. I'm not going to lie. I could see this deck being very, very solid going forward. And y'all tell me, that's another thing we should talk about. What decks y'all think are going to be, you know, at the top in OP-07. It might be a little too early to tell for sure, but it'll be fun to at least talk about. Okay, Sakazuki, Luchi. So now the Anel, let's see what Anel's changed. And this is, again, this is top 4 list at a 130-player tournament. Okay, as expected, it is running the new Ace card. This card is just built for Anel. I mean, it's not literally, it's not Sky Island type or anything, but 10 cost, 10,000 power, on play, gain a life, and if you have 2 or less life still, then this character gets rush. You like to stay at 1 life in Anel, so you get to 1 life, you play Ace to go up to 2, and you smash in. Or you take the 2 life if you can survive and go down to 0 life as Anel, play out your Ace next turn to go back up to 1 and go from there. Same thing with Yamato. It's running 3 Yamatos. We all know what that does. It's running 2 of the Katakuri. We know what that does. It's running 4 Charlotte Linlin. That's interesting. This is interesting to me. I'm not going to lie. I almost like 7 cost Anel better in this spot, but who knows. It's running the new Frankie. This new Frankie card's incredible. It's a 4 cost 5k with a 2k counter and trigger. The triggers draw 1. Then if you have 1 or less life, play this card. It's not locked to Vegapunk. It's not locked to Egghead or any of that. Just trigger, draw 1. Then if you have 1 or less life, play this card. Hard to beat that. So either way, you know, you can draw a card with it or take it to hand and 2k counter early in the game. But if you're down to 1 life, which that's where Anel likes to chill at, you're going to be able to play this card out and draw a card. Just absolutely incredible. It's got the new Ace from the ST stuff. This card's a monster. This card's an absolute menace. And it looks like a lot of... And that's why I'm surprised he's not running the 7 cost 7k Anel. Because it's like on curve, you know, take life aggressively. Don't counter out of anything. Okay, play out Ace on turn... What is that? Turn 3. Play out Anel on turn 4. And then on turn 5, just drop down Yamato. Get your life back that you aggressively took. And now you have a bunch of 7Ks and a 9K on the board. You know, just really, really powerful stuff there. And now you have another boss in Ace. Kikanojo is incredible. You do need to be pretty aggressive with this deck. You need to be aggressively taking life at first and aggressively attacking their life as well so that you can get your Kikanojos into play easily. Because remember, they have to get 3 or less life to get this card into play. Okay, and then this is running the new Luffy card, a 5 cost 6k with a 1k counter. Activate main. You may place this character in your trash. If your life is 2 or less, KO up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost 4 or less. Then draw 1 card. So it replaces itself. Trigger, KO of 4 or less. So just awesome. Just really, really powerful. This is a great addition to the deck. And it's still running 4 Gadatsus as well. So this deck went from like being really good to being absolutely insane. It's still running Impact or Reject or whatever. 200 million volts of Maru. It's running You're the One Who Should Disappear. It just has a lot of good stuff. 4 Shirahoshi as well with Katakuri tricks. Yeah, this looks really good. And it didn't even win, by the way. Like, as good as that deck seems to be, and it is still good, obviously, but as good as it seems to be, it only got 3rd place, 3rd or 4th place. And then Red Purple Law, we got to check this out, and then we're going to check out one more deck after this. Red Purple Law. Actually, did we check? We got to check out Red Purple Luffy. I don't think we checked that out. We'll check that out as well. Look at this Red Purple Law list, guys. Zoro's coming in. promotional Trafalgar Law, dropping cost down, establishing 5k body, 1k counter in hand. It's got 4 Gordons, 4 Raise Max. It's got the new Kid and Killer card. Read this card if you don't know what it does. It's absolutely insane. It's basically a 4-cost 7k rusher. Not always. They do have to be at 2 or less life, but this list is so aggressive, it's not hard to get him there. And we got the new Sanji card coming in. This is one of my favorite looking decks to play going into, even into just, you know, the ST13 EB01 era, like right before OP-07. I can't wait to start playing. I will probably be playing, like, I know this card's not in it, but this deck I'll probably be playing a lot in OP-06 because all of these cards you see are available in OP-06 except Kid and Killer is EB01, Bon Clay is EB01, and the new Sanji's OP-06. But this is realistically just a good 2k counter. We're going to have access to stuff like that. You know, we can just put in another card here. Bon Clay, we'll just have to use Ain for now. And like Kid and Killer, that's the only one that's like not replaceable. I don't know. Maybe put some kind of rusher in. We'll have to see what we can do. And this deck's even running Ain, by the way. That's crazy. But yeah, that's a video for another day, right? This list looks incredible. It's got 4 Reiju to refill the hand. Shariah can do a lot of things. Pause and read what this card does if you don't already know what it does. And then it's got tons of power reduction in Raise Max and Gordon. And Trafalgar Law, like we were saying. Okay. All right, so that looks solid. Now we got to look at Red Purple Luffy, and then we got to check out the Boa Hancock deck at the very end, of course. Okay, Red Purple Luffy. This is a first place list here at a 130-player tournament in Thailand, or 128 players. I like to round. Guys, this deck just looks like an absolute bruiser. Like look at these cards, guys. 4 Edward Newgate, 3 Dragon, 3 10-cost purple, you know, time skip Luffy, 4 Eustace Kid, the 7-cost. And look what they're adding. Look how good. Number 1, this is Straw Hat searchable. Okay, this is a Straw Hat crew card and searchable with Nami, right, in this Red Purple Luffy deck. And obviously what they're going to try and do is plop down the Purple Luffy card. And y'all know how that combo works, right? What you do is you play out this card, you return 10 Dawn to your deck and remove all your characters obviously after you swing with them and everything. So you'll return the 10 Dawn, then you'll activate your main to set a Dawn card as active, because he's able to do that. And then you'll use this effect to ramp another Dawn, so you get to 2 Dawn the turn you play this. The following turn you'll go to 4, and technically 5, but you'll have 4 Dawn available with this character's effect. Well, with 3 of that Dawn, you know, you're going to be able to use this card, assuming you're 2 or more less Dawn than your opponent. I know that sounded weird. If you're at 2 or more less Dawn than your opponent. But guys, this is a 6-cost 6k 2k counter with blocker. Just awesome. Just incredible. It's running 4 Rad Beams, it's running 2 Jet Gatlings, and it's running Diablo Jambe to get the final punch through. This deck looks like it could be a sleeper in the format. I don't think a lot of people are going to play something like this, but I think it can probably deal with just about anything. It has ways to attack the hand. It has ways to get to 7,000 base power, or even 8,000 base power with Edward Newgate. And then it has this insane rusher potential in Monkey D. Dragon. This deck looks awesome. And it probably could use some revisions. Like, I'm looking at a few cards and you're like, I might change a few things around if I try this deck. But it just looks like it's really solid. Okay. Really good stuff there. Last but not least, let's check out Boa. A lot of people got mad at me when I did my video because I did miss that you can return your own card. Excuse me, you can return your opponent's. I tried to do it again. I tried to do it again there, guys. You can return your opponent's cards to their hands to get this effect as well. And someone even asked me, I just want to clarify, someone even asked me, like, all right, what rating do you give it now? I still give it the same rating because my problem wasn't returning cards to hand. You know, whether it be your cards or your opponent's cards. That's not the issue. My issue is in the limitation here on if you have 5 or less cards in hand, then you can draw a card. That's where my issue lies. Not so much in, like I said, I thought you could only return, I needed to read a little closer. I see easily where, you know, you can return your opponent's cards or your own cards, but that didn't really matter to me. Like, I was just thinking, like, how can I get the highest value? I'll return my own card to get, like, super high value and draw a card. Well, realistically, you probably can't even do that unless you have, what? You would need 5 cards in hand. Yeah, you would need the 5 cards in hand, right? Because if you return a card to your hand, that's what procs this effect. But then if you have 5 or less cards, I'm not going to go into the details here. Let's check out this list. I think the leader effect is still, like I said, I gave the leader effect a 4. But that doesn't mean the deck's going to be a 4. The deck could have all these incredible, all this incredible synergy that makes it work really well, and clearly it did because it's already getting 5 and 0 in tournaments. You know, this list came out last week, right? Like these cards came out in the East last week, guys. At the time you're recording this video. Okay, first card I want to talk about is this Pudding card. This was the card I was looking forward to in Blue-Yellow Queen. In a Blue-Yellow Queen deck, where you can play out this card to get your hand size down and then gain a life with Queen and then pull this card back. You see what I'm saying? Like, I could not wait to play with this card. But in Boa Hancock, the new leader, this is absolutely perfect. Again, if you have 5 or less cards in hand. But whatever. I'm not trying to complain too much. Other than that, guys, look at all this top 5, you know, arranging going on here with Doflamingo, Perona. I think there was one other card. Yeah, this new Ace card is a top 5 arrangement as well. Or excuse me, it's not top 5. You draw 2 cards, then return 2 cards from your hand to the bottom, to the top or bottom of the deck in any order, or in the order of your choice. So you're going to be able to set your top cards with this. You see what I'm saying? Now the real question is, how do you capitalize on that in a deck like this? Well, you've got your Sanji. Sanji can play the top card of your deck when you play him. And by the way, with Perona, you could just set that up immediately, right? Because, you know, if you have 10 Dawn, pay 1, play out Sanji. That'll play out the top card, which you're going to typically want to be Dracula Mihawk. Or, in this deck, maybe Sogeking, right? Sogeking's a pretty high-cost card. You'll get decent value from your Sanji in that way. And you can bounce back a 6 or less and draw 2 trash too. So yeah, the deck looks pretty good. Oh, and this card as well. Sorry, the new Boa Hancock card. This from OP-07. I'll read it real quick. It's a 6-cost 8K, so it's already statted like a vanilla. But on play, up to one of your opponent's characters other than Luffy cannot attack until the end of their next turn. Then place up to one cost 1 or less character on the bottom of its owner's deck. So then you can activate your leader's effect as well if you have 5 or less cards. So really good stuff there. The 2K counters in blue are so incredible. You've got Crocodile, this new Law card. Pause these and read these if you don't know what these do, guys. They're so good. Sengoku is searching up pretty much everything in the deck. Not literally everything. You know, it's not grabbing Sanji. It's not grabbing Sogeking. It's not grabbing the Puddings, either of the Puddings. But it can grab back like Doflamingo, Mihawk, Boa, Law, Crocodile. Not Ace, obviously. So, you know, it is a top 5 search, and it probably has about 20 targets. I didn't count, but it's got a decent amount of targets, so it should be able to get it most of the time. Especially if you know, well, I don't know. I was going to say it wouldn't make sense to do this and then do the search, because that'll just mess everything up. You'd want to do a search first, then arrange cards afterwards. But anyway, you guys get what I'm trying to say. It's got good removal. It's got good counters here. You know, 2K here, 2K here, 2K in this Pudding, the one that goes back to your hand. That's 12 2K counters right there. And it's got 2 of the 0-cost Trash a Card 3Ks. And last but not least, it does have the most toxic card ever printed, in my opinion. This is just me. Everyone's got their own feeling on this. And don't worry, I'm not like crazy about it. But I just can't believe how strong a card like this is, where it's like, it's a 4-cost 4K with a 1K counter. That's already just not even that bad. Yes, it's below what you expect for an effect. Like, you'd expect like a 4-cost 5K with a 1K counter and then a decent effect. But listen how strong this is. On play, your opponent returns all of their hand cards. It's worded all messed up. They're going to return all their hand to the top to their deck, shuffle, and draw 5 cards. If they have 8 or 9 cards in hand, this basically works as a trash 4 cards and just get rid of those cards and just draw 5 random cards. It's just so good, guys. And in a deck like this, you probably have ways to bounce it back. You know, there's just all kinds of stuff going on here. Right, guys, that's about it. Just looking at what's going on here, there are so many different good decks. I didn't even look at the Yamato stuff, guys. I'll just click on it and let y'all look through it while I'm talking. There are so many good-looking options going into OP-07. I don't know how or what they want to ban that will not mess all this up. You know what I mean? It's like, what are they going to ban that won't mess up the entire format? Are you going to ban a yellow card, a red card, a blue card, a purple card, and a green card? Because I'm seeing every one of these colors pop up so far. And again, I know, you know, I'm not trying to, well, I can't remember the expression. Yeah, I'm not trying to, you know, basically make something out to be before knowing the full-on results. Jump the shark or jump the ship, whatever it is. I think it's jump the shark. I'm not trying to do that. I know there haven't been any major tournaments yet, but this is some pretty good stuff here, guys. Like there's some really good variety of decks going on here. We got to check out Purple Yellow Croc too. I'll just like scroll through it so you guys can see it. Oh no, if it loads. It's struggling right now to load, but we'll get there. Okama Way, yeah, so much good, so many good looking. A lot of these decks look so good. They look like they're going to be so much fun to play. Right, I'm done rambling, guys. I could talk about this stuff all day. Y'all know me. But you guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. What do you think are going to be like the top 4 S tier decks going on in OP-07? Or the top 5 maybe? Because I'm going to tell you what I think real quick. I think it's going to be Yamato. I think it's going to be Red Purple Law. I think it's going to be Blue Black Sakazuki. I think it's going to be Anel. And I think it's probably going to be like the new Luchi. I don't even know. There were 2 Reiju showings, I think, weren't there? No, maybe not. Maybe there was just 1 Reiju. It might have just been this single one. But either way, you got Purple Yellow Croc going on here, all kinds of stuff. And I think, let me say that again. So the top 4 that I think are going to be there, Yamato, Sakazuki, Law, Anel, and maybe like a 5th one. I feel like there could be a 5th one in Bonnie, or I don't know. There might be a rogue come out like in Red Purple Luffy like we were just looking at down here. It's hard to say. But hey, that's a really healthy format. if you've got 5 decks parading around with a chance to win, that's a pretty solid format. All right, guys, y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Please do not forget to like and subscribe if you're not already. And until next time, guys, peace.